Hi everyone, welcome to Friday's TNT. No special opening today. I'm actually back in my little office. I thought we'd start today with a survey I did. We spoke about this the other day about do you tip food delivery drivers? So I put the question out and here we go with the results. It said, do you tip motorcycle food delivery riders in Thailand? The options were yes, about 10 to 20% of the cost of the food. Yes, a fixed tip of around 20 to 40 baht. I tip more than 40 baht most times. No, never tip them. They get a delivery fee from their employer and sometimes depends on the order of the delivery on the day, and a tip of around 20 to 40 baht. The number 2 option was by far the most popular there, and well, if there's a winner of the survey, that was the highest score, the lowest score being people who might tip more than 40 baht. So I thought, well, this is actually quite interesting because tipping is a cultural thing. Some countries do a lot of tipping, others don't. In Australia, we typically don't tip unless we've had a particularly fine experience, but it's not a thing we have to do or need to do. It's something that you do if you really think that the place that you're tipping deserves it. Now, I know in America it's quite different, where you literally have to tip, otherwise you'll sort of be arrested as you leave the restaurant. Well, not quite as bad as that, but I was just thinking that it's probably very confusing for the food delivery drivers because they arrive at one Farang Caucasian place and they give them a generous tip of 40 baht. They go to the next place and all they get is a smile and a thank you very much. And they must think, oh, gee, what do Caucasian Farang do? Anyway, an interesting question, and it was great to see that a lot of you do in fact tip the delivery drivers. I think they deserve it. They don't get a lot of money. They're having to run the cost of their own motorcycles, of course, and sometimes they can't find the addresses. They have to operate in really bad conditions, particularly this time of the year around parts of Thailand, which are in the midst of their wet season, although hopefully coming out of it soon. So anyway, that was the response and the results to the survey, and a fixed tip of around 20 to 40 baht seemed to be the most popular. Not saying that you have to do that. Some people will never tip no matter what, but that was the results from the survey. Well, a lot of news to cover today. Just to note that this subscription thing, if you do subscribe to the channel, it doesn't cost you any money. It just means that you will get occasional alerts when we've made a new video. So there's no cost to subscribing. You're not going to get emails. You're not going to get annoying phone calls from a call center in India. So just subscribing does a lot to help our channel as it sort of tweaks the YouTube algorithms. Yeah, I don't know either. So let's go to the latest in this whole cannabis debate. And from Thai PBS World, the Thai PM is being urged to reconsider decriminalisation of cannabis. As I've said all along, this is all about politics. By the way, if you just notice the camera moving there, that was because of this person here. This is Dina, who's sitting on the printer and is apparently assisting me with my program, but in fact is just shaking the table. Anyway, thank you very much, Dina. Let's move on with the program and try and sort of cut through this cannabis debate. A rift between two coalition parties, the Democrats and Bumjai Thai, widened when a group of Democrat MPs called on the PM, Prayut Chan-o-cha, yesterday to reconsider the decriminalisation of cannabis. So this is all basically happening within the same coalition. The two coalition partners are diametrically opposed. Dina, don't scratch while I'm doing my video because it shakes the camera. I should get a better table, I suppose. This is a high table from IKEA that's set up on 4 legs that are about that thick. So it does shake around a bit when cats are scratching. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to another part of that story. And opposition parties, this is halfway down the second paragraph, and the Democrat Party have voiced strong opposition to the bill, fearing that the decriminalisation of cannabis will lead to increased abuse among Thai people. The second last paragraph there, the group claims that 6 months after cannabis was removed from the Category 5 drug list, more Thai youth are using cannabis for recreation, putting them at risk. Obviously, this is a highly contentious topic, and there are plenty of studies around showing the benefits of cannabis to some people and the dangers to other. So it's not as if it's a black and white situation. There is a lot of grey, but there is certainly a mounting body of evidence that's showing that more younger Thais have been dabbling in cannabis over the past 6 months since this decriminalisation. So the claims made in that second last paragraph are largely true. So obviously that is fueling a lot of the debate in Parliament at the moment as this cannabis bill heads towards its second reading. And the last paragraph there, the group urged the Prime Minister to consider returning cannabis to the Category 5 drug list. Okay, we're talking about the Democrats and the Bumjai Thai Party, who are members of the coalition. If this bill is voted down, and I predict that it probably will be voted down, whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know, but that's my prediction, but it will rip the coalition apart. And the Prime Minister clearly wants to try and run the term of this Parliament, which would take it till March next year. So there probably is quite a lot of delaying going on at the moment, a lot of phone calls late at night to try and get some sort of mediation, but I don't think there is. But the Democrats and Bumjai Thai are at opposite ends of the spectrum on this particular issue, and both of them have enough votes in the coalition to, if either of them left the coalition would suddenly lose a vote of confidence in the Parliament. And so it would be a very dangerous situation. That's the political reality. And I know a lot of you think the genie's out of the bottle, none of this matters. Well, for people who enjoy smoking marijuana, none of this probably will change what they do in the privacy of their own homes. But I think it will affect a lot of people who have invested quite a lot of money in the retail side and in the commercial production of cannabis, all of which is still under a great big grey cloud at the moment. All right, on to our next story today. And, we'll get back to that in a moment. A gold shop owner foils robbery, killing one, injuring another in the Tak province. Now, I'm going to show some video that does just demonstrate some violence. I know YouTube will probably either block the video or demonetize this particular program of TNT, so I'll probably avoid parts of the video or blur some of it out, but just warning that there is a video about to be shown which does involve some gun violence. Now, this story by Thai PBS, an alleged robber, well, not very alleged, you'll see that there was 4 very obvious robbers who had planned this, so I don't think there's much alleged about that. And he was shot dead. One of his accomplices was injured. A bit of a problem with the spacebar at the Thai PBS computer today. They were injured when 4 men tried to rob a gold shop in Tak, in the western province of Tak. So yeah, it's up in the far northwest of Thailand. And the 4 men arrived at the shop and opposite a school of all places on 2 motorcycles. One of them fired a shot, spacebar, into the air from a handgun and then tried to break into the shop using hand tools. Well, you can see in the video, he actually uses a gun to fire a shot to shatter the window. Then they burst through the door and they get out an angle grinder. Now, it would be interesting to see if this is like a battery-powered angle grinder or whether they had to go, now, where's a plug so I can plug in my angle grinder? So we'll look at that in the video as well. So let's have a look at that video, and I will have to either pause or blur certain parts of this video to get it past YouTube. Here we go. So this is the video. And we can see the 4 men getting off their motorcycles, shooting the glass, breaking through the glass, making their way into the shop. There's a couple of shop owners in the background there as the guys are getting prepared. This guy very calmly saying, just, no, have a seat. We'll be done in a moment. And so this guy's got his angle grinder out. Looks like it is battery powered. I can't see a lead. But no, the shop owner's going to have none of this. Starts firing a few shots. And the guys, try and get out. They make their getaway and shots are fired. You can see one's already hit the motorbike. And then another bullet connects to one of the drivers of the motorbike. And 2 of them escape. I'm not exactly sure who's been shot, who hasn't, but that is the footage from that particular video. Tak police say that this was the second attempted gold shop robbery in the city district since May, and the suspects in that case are still at large. These poor gold shops, a lot of them at the entrances of shopping centres around Thailand. The poor shop owners must wonder, the people coming in, are they looking to trade or buy gold, or are they just casing the joint for a potential robbery? So we do hear about quite a lot of violent crime at these gold shops. Our next story from the Bangkok Post, and it says Prayut to welcome the 10 millionth arrival of 2022. So this has been a much predicted number, the magic 10 million foreign arrivals since the borders reopened. And ever since January, they've slowly been opening with a whole lot of restrictions to start with, and then probably since about August, no restrictions at all, and the numbers have been ramping up. 10 million would be around about 25% of the numbers of arrivals in the last full year, which was 2019. The PM Prayut Chan-o-cha will be present at Suvarnabhumi Airport on Saturday, which is, of course, the 10th of December, which was set as a date to welcome the 10 millionth passenger. Now, don't tell anybody, but the 10 millionth visitor actually arrived yesterday. Shh, don't tell anybody. But of course, they had the Prime Minister booked, they had the balloons booked, everything for tomorrow at Suvarnabhumi. So that's where they're going to be holding the ceremony. General Prayut due to extend his personal welcome to the 10 millionth visitor arriving on a flight from Saudi Arabia at the airport gate number 10. So the cleaners will be there making it spick and span for that PR event tomorrow. But well done to the TAT who predicted we'd get to 10 million visitors, and by hook or by crook, we were indeed going to get 10 million arrivals. And it is, as far as I know from yesterday, official. So that's from the Bangkok Post. And just finally, the end of that article, the country will have to wait until the next low season, that would be sort of March and April next year, to see how Thai tourism copes with negative factors like the global recession, high travel costs and inflation, as there'll be no other driver like pent-up demand, he added. So some reasonable comments there from the governor of the TAT, just looking ahead to next year when this flurry of tourists at the moment coming during the high season might level off. Where will the tourists come from next year? That will be the next surprise. Our next story also from the Bangkok Post, and this is a follow-up to a story we did on Wednesday about senior immigration officials signing in some 3,300 Chinese tourists into business and O visas. And the story goes that an inquiry has been set up to look into a claim that former senior Immigration Bureau officers allegedly took bribes in exchange for approving visa applications for Chinese nationals. And there in the second paragraph, a repeat of the allegations that 3 former division commanders of the Immigration Bureau took bribes in exchange for approving non-immigrant visas. And importantly, this next part of the story talking about Surachat Hakpan, the Deputy Police Commissioner, who has been following up a lot of these Chinese grey businesses and the triads. And he was named on Wednesday by the person making the allegation, saying that 2 of the 3 people named in the allegations were former classmates of Surachat Hakpan. And we said at the time that it was important for him to make a statement. Well, he has. He says, I insist that investigators will act in line with the law, even if they are my former classmates. If found guilty, they will face legal action with no exceptions. Now, the Justice Minister said yesterday that Mr. Chuit, who is the man who's been providing police with all the information about these Chinese triads, he's entitled to a reward of 5% of the assets confiscated from the alleged gangsters. I was unaware there was a reward. Gee, 5%. We should all get into this game. Mr. Chewett said later he didn't want the reward. He would ask that the money instead be given to hospitals. Last month, he went to the Justice Ministry and submitted information about the alleged financial activities of Chinese triads in Thailand. Well, I suspect we've really only scratched the tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot more to come in that story. We'll certainly bring that to you as it becomes available. With thanks to 5-Star Marine, who have supported this program all the way since day one. 5-Star Marine taking people on private tours from the island of Phuket. And there's a link in the description under this video if you'd like to get in contact with them for your next trip to Phuket. So this is TNT, and tomorrow's live program is slightly different, a bit of a free-for-all, and all your comments, questions, and we'll be able to have a much more spirited discussion sort of in real time, because I'm going to have somebody sitting next to me and helping me sift through the comments and read them out. So looking forward to that slightly changed Saturday morning program format, and that'll be at 9 a.m. Thai time, just you and me, and one of these, full of your favourite brew. To our next story today, and a Swedish man arrested in Hua Hin for 35 million baht accounting fraud charges from his country. And this from the patianews.com. A wanted Swedish man was arrested in Hua Hin for 35 million baht in accounting fraud legal charges in his home country. Immigration police say it was a 52-year-old Swedish man who's wanted for fraud committed between 2017 to 2019, and it covers some 35 million baht. I think it's just 35 million baht. And the Swedish man was hiding at a rental house in Hua Hin. Our next story today, and we head up to the north of Thailand, and 15 drug smugglers killed in gunfight with soldiers in Chiang Mai. This story from The Nation. And they were part of a group of 30 that had entered Thailand from Myanmar in a remote area of the northern province's Phang district. Where's that? Well, there you can see on the map you've got Chiang Rai, and you've got down here Chiang Mai. There's the Lao border there, and there we've got the Phang district just up in the very, very north of the Chiang Mai province, very close to the border of Myanmar. And the story goes on, the smugglers opened fire after members of the task force intercepted them. The gunfight lasted about 10 minutes, but police were unable to access the scene until yesterday morning. When they did, they found 15 bodies and 29 backpacks containing methamphetamine. One gun, one grenade were also found at the scene. And the task force commander said the amount of methamphetamine being smuggled into Thailand was increasing and more people were being killed by it. Not only by the task force officers, but obviously by overusing that particular drug. So we've spoken many times about the Golden Triangle. We're aware of the high number of drugs coming over from those border areas. And these smugglers being caught are just, again, the very, very, very tip of the iceberg. And from The Nation, the NBTC demands return of 600 million Thai baht it gave to the Sports Authority of Thailand for World Cup broadcast rights. Now, I could do a whole mini-series about the mess that is the broadcasting rights for the World Cup in Thailand. Suffice to say that the NBTC gave the Sports Authority of Thailand some 600 million baht, and a lot of people in Thailand haven't been able to watch the World Cup because all the people involved with broadcasting have been fighting amongst themselves. It's a long and complicated story. So the source says the Telecom Watchdog commissioners agreed that the Sports Authority had violated the conditions regarding broadcast of the World Cup being held in Qatar under the NBTC's must-have rules. Several key sporting events, including the World Cup finals, must be made available on free televisions. So, without going into all the details, it looks like it hasn't really happened as planned. And further, the NBTC are saying down the bottom there, the source added, the NBTC would give the SAT 15 days to return the money from the day it receives the notification, and the agency would be charged interest at 5% per year in case of delayed payment. And you maybe get the sense that that money may have already been spent or distributed. And that's all we've got for today's TNT, the last day of the week. Noting also that on the 25th of December, Christmas Day, well, it's a Sunday, and usually I have Sundays off, but this Christmas Day I'm going to spend the morning with you. Now, I think we're going to have some special guests. There will be some music. There will be some Christmas decorations. I dare say there will be cats. But I know that a lot of people, for whatever reason, may be alone on Christmas Day. And for those that have grown up with the Christmas tradition, I think it's good to have some friends joining you on this very special day of the year in Western culture. So that's Sunday, Christmas Day, the 25th of December, a special live TNT. And I've got no idea what's going to be going on, but I think it will be fun. And with that, I thank you for watching. Thanks to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. Please subscribe on your way out, and we'll see you tomorrow live.